It's a message from Skype. Click here, fucktard. I can do that. Strange. Looks like me. It is you, Gary. No, Gary in the future guy, Gary. Holy shit, that's fucked up. What do you mean you're the future guy? I don't remember making this video. What the hell is going on here? This is fucked up. No, it is me, Gary. Yeah, I'm the future you. Okay, see, you were fucking around with the Wi-Fi thing, and you invented Time Machine, and this is the only way I can access. You're the first person to be accessed from the future, because you invent the access portal, which is your broken Wi-Fi connection. It's fucked up. Yeah, it's really fucked up. So I invent time machine traveling. That's pretty cool. I feel okay about that. Yeah, but the problem is that, you see, nobody from the future has contacted me. So it means we fucked it up somehow. Somehow it must go bad because nobody contacts me. I remember talking to you now, but that's all I got. I got nobody from the future visiting me. So something happens in this conversation, probably, that fucks everything up. Or something like that. Wow. It's kind of a lot of a burden to put on us, isn't it? Time, travel. How come you look just like me and all that kind of shit? And, you know, it doesn't make sense. Well, look, you know it's not a fake, right? I mean, all I have to do is say something like, what, Charlie, sand pile, and wheelbarrow. There. Those will tell you enough that I'm the real deal. But yeah, you don't change, right? So yeah, everything's the same in the future. Except they got this life extension thing, you know, they can basically genetically kind of, you know, they've got the aging thing kind of solved, so you can kind of stay your age and you can also gain a few years, like you can go a little bit backwards. So yeah, I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm taking the pills. I mean, you know, they're there, you got to do it, right? I mean, they invent this shit, you got to use it. Sounds like you're sold out, buddy. But anyway, so let me get this straight. You did this time machine thing. I'm the first person you can contact. You're contacting me, even though you know deterministically that the whole thing fails, but you still did it anyway. Yeah. I'm thinking whether I should say something completely different than I said the last time we talked. I remember us saying this kind of shit. I remember doing this little blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying, should I dare do something different? Because if I do something different, I'm going to change. And then maybe everything will go to hell even worse. Wow. A bit of a dilemma. So, you remember having this conversation, and you survived this conversation. We're surviving it so far. I mean, so far you're still there, so that means so far we haven't done anything stupid. But nobody contacted you from the future, so that means that the time machine somehow fails. So somehow you have to disappear somewhere. Right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's the problem. I'm, you know, just figuring that I better keep this brief because we're going to get into big trouble somehow. I mean, if I really do if I just change things, you know, if I just say wear a red shirt in the future, yeah. I mean, the good news is I guess I could just say I remember saying that, but I do remember saying that. Or do I? Ooh. So maybe that's what happens. I remember it, but I don't remember it. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like I remember that, but I do remember that. Did something change? See, I don't even know if I would know if something changed, because I would still say, I remember that. Even if it was changing right now, my memory was changing as we're having this conversation. So theoretically, I could have already fixed whatever was broken, and now I remember completely different, because now I've changed the future. but I still have no memory of anybody contacting us. So until I have a memory of somebody contacting us in the future, from my future, then we can still assume I haven't changed anything to fix anything. Yeah, this does get confusing. Yeah, maybe I could do something spontaneous. No, you can't. Yeah, see, I would remember it, right? So anything you do is going to create a memory in me of me saying, oh yeah, I remember us doing that. And so that's not going to work. So, but I think what it'll do is just to play it safe. Okay, it worked. Now I know that it works. So I'm going to end this conversation and I'm going to think about it some more, and I'll contact you later. Okay, bud? I didn't like that. Threw in the bud. I don't know if I like you very much. But okay, whatever. Till next time, shithead. Didn't even blip. It's just gone. He didn't even blip. Bleep. Could have made a blipping. Oh, I don't have the sound off, I think. Anyway, I think I want to talk to myself about this. Alright, so anyway, this is a plot. You know, looking for plot flaws in this idea of communicating with the future. Because it is a little bit gnarly, right? I had to make sure I didn't have the camera in the image. Yeah, I had to be a skillful photographer. So anyway, so let's say this was a movie and you were trying to do this conversation with yourself from the future. And what are the plot flaws? I mean, what are the inevitable... I mean, obviously, you can't access the future. Well, it says you. Yeah, I think I could. I think I did, right? I'm the future. I'm future guy. Future guy. No, alright, never. So anyway, this is a... So I'm thinking that you can't access the past, obviously, because the past is the past. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. There's no way to even get to it. And the only way theoretically in science that any kind of time travel works is doing this faster than the speed of light thing. But technically, you can't do that. That's just the rule, so that's why time doesn't work. And the reason partly it doesn't work too, like even in that little bit of sense, you know, when people talk about orbiting the planet and doing all this kind of stuff, yeah, that stuff will work. That only works on the atomic level. And so you can alter how much time is wound up in your atomic structure. In other words, you can have your molecular form reconfigured in such a way as that it more efficiently, more quanta that you're made out of is moving in the singular direction, or is singularly arranged, almost like magnetism in iron or something. You can rearrange the matter where it is less time is wound up in it, kind of a thing. But yeah, this only works on atomic structure. It doesn't work on, subatomic. It doesn't work in this big picture kind of way because the molecular and chemical structures are still solid. And all you're doing is taking the time out of the subatomic particles. But they're the only thing getting rearranged. So, I mean, I might as well talk from the future because this is like future stuff. But, I mean, I theorize. I guess the camera can show, but it doesn't matter now. I'm not doing a movie. I theorize, that like an atomic accelerator, when it's accelerating complex matter, nucleuses or, more than singular quanta, that all it's doing is disintegrating that matter, turning it into energy. So eventually, as you go fast enough, all the quanta ends up just pointing in the same direction, moving in the same direction. You're taking all the orbits out of the matter. So you're basically disintegrating the matter into energy before it ever hits the target. It's not even a nucleus anymore by the time it hits the target, because you've basically disintegrated into its quanta and got all the quanta moving in one direction. And that's the only way you could accelerate matter to the speed of light, is to disintegrate all the orbits that are built into the matter. And the orbits are what you could call time, or the container for time. Sort of. Something like that anyway. Anyway, that's not the point I wanted to get to. So anyway, this video is a draft movie video. And I'm thinking that this is going to be a hard movie to make because so I'm looking for something you could do with one person. So obviously I could talk to myself in the future, and there could be a pretty good dialogue. But in the end, right, you're still stuck with this problem that in talking to yourself, you're going to change the future, and you're open to just kind of annihilating yourself at any minute, if you have a singular reality. So unlike Star Trek, I'm not going to cheat and pretend that the whole multiverse bullshit is true, and that we're all living 7 zillion different lives. I mean, that's just a crock of shit. That there's one reality, and if I change this past, I'm going to change the future for myself. So if this guy goes to influences me, he's going to perhaps influence himself. So theoretically, I could rearrange his whole life, or him, could rearrange me, which causes him to get rearranged. Like, he's the only one, I guess, that could do something truly different in principle. He could say, okay, wear a blue shirt instead. Okay, so he tells me to wear a blue shirt. I wear a blue shirt. Then he remembers me wearing a blue shirt. He wears a blue shirt. How does that change? That's probably okay. Well, anyway, in here somewhere. So anyway, if you just want to list what you think to be plot flaws in the idea of this communication. So the idea, the premise so far. Alright, this is what I've gone with so far. Alright, I mess with a Wi-Fi board that provides an access point for data to be sent to the past. So the actual individual, he can't travel to the past, but he can send a signal to the past. That would make sense, right? The first time travel would be information traveling through time, not whole bodies, right? That just makes sense. So I'm the first access point because I have the first receiver. Right? That makes sense, right? And so, logically, I would go to the first access point. Pretty much, right? Yeah, why not? If I was trying to figure out why something went wrong. So that part makes sense. Well, anyway, so what I'm looking for is plot flaws. And just opinion. Yes, I just don't know. I'm saying, okay, you could end up with this dialogue, and it could be an interesting dialogue. So you could actually write this script of this dialogue between yourself and somebody from the future, and it could be potentially interesting. But I think ultimately there's going to be a paradox, and you're stuck. That this can't be happening, even though it's happening. You have to conclude that, oh, it's just a movie because it can't happen. The first obvious answer to that is that you can't access the past because it don't exist anymore. Fuck. And matter can't go faster than the speed of light. And any changes in time dilation bullshit doesn't work except superficially. It's not real time change. It's just a change in how fast time progresses from a certain point. Let me see how to say this. It has to change distance to change time. Yeah, and so that's the rearrangement part. So when you change the distance, you change time. But you can't change enough distance in subatomic particles to ever change enough time for something to actually be changed substantially. That's not a good way to say it. I have to get to this basic quanta thing, right? So you just can't go faster than the speed of light. That's the bottom line. Just can't. And any changes in time that we can measure as you approach the speed of light is still bullshit. You're just changing. Let's see, what's the way to put it? You're not changing time, you're changing subatomic decay, subatomic arrangement. So you haven't really changed time, you've just changed the arrangement of the matter. And in changing the arrangement of the matter, it has an implication on structure that's implicated by that change. And so it appears to be a change in time, but it's only a change in how much movement, how the movement is trapped inside the matter. So you take some of the movement out of the matter, and it appears like it's moved forward in time, or backward in time. We'll have to think about that. Never mind. So anyway, comments welcome, blah, 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 blah. This is a work in progress, draft, all that kind of crap. Blah, 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 blah. Till next time.